Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com. And if you're sitting there on YouTube or the website wondering, where's the video? Well, there's nothing to see here, and we have good reasons for not showing you what is going on right now, because Steven and I spent Thursday, I also spent Saturday up at the photo show in New York City, thus why we do not have a podcast, a brand new podcast. Actually, this is going to be a brand new podcast, just something a little different that you're going to hear. Unfortunately, you won't see because at the time of this interview, there was no video being recorded. So what you're going to hear coming up is a really good interview. I was interviewed by Ron Henry, who's the founder of BlackRapid, when I was over at BlackRapid Studios in Seattle a couple weeks back when I was out there for Creative Live. Ron asked me to come in, sit down, and he asked me the questions, and I can say this was a very, very candid discussion. We covered a lot of different topics that I don't normally talk about with you guys, because he was asking some business questions, where I see myself going, things that I've done in the past. So it was pretty much a different type of interview, because I was the one being interviewed, which I love. I love when people ask questions and I can go ahead and answer them, because it's something different, and I do try to listen more. I'm making a conscious effort, everybody, to keep my mouth shut, let people finish their statements before I go ahead and interrupt them with what I would like to say. Now, I used to do that in the past, but the problem was every time I would do that, I would forget what I wanted to say. That's why I started to interject, and I understand it is not a good thing. So I am working on it. Steven yelled at me the other day. I know he's not listening, but he yelled at me the other day, and he was like, Jared, you need to stop doing this. Not to him, just in general, to other people, but we're working on it. We all need to work on things, and this is one of the things I'm going to work on. But coming up in this podcast, you're going to hear this interview that Ron Henry conducted, and it was good. I enjoyed it. It's about 35-minute interview from Seattle, so that's coming up shortly. But this is what's going to happen next week. Being that Steven and I were up in New York City this week, we recorded on the floor. We went to different booths, and Steven is right now, as we speak, cutting up and editing the footage that we did, whether it was me in the Sony booth, Nikon booth, meeting different people on the floor. I have to say it was fantastic meeting so many Fro readers when we were there. There's nothing like walking around and having people kind of starstruck because of me. And I'm just a regular guy, everybody, but people, one girl cried. She cried when she met me, and I gave her a hug. I was like, why are you crying? Don't cry. It's okay. It's not a big deal. And she's like, but I like you so much, and you've helped me. And I was like, okay, here's a hug. Let's get a picture. So I always stop and take pictures and give as much time as we can and have a conversation and just listen to what people have to say, because that, it's all about you guys, and it's great to just run into real people. We've built such a great community here with the Fro Nation that we can just, just get along and talk and interact and see people in the real world. So that's awesome. So Steven's going to cut that stuff up, and during the next week's RAWtalk, which is going to be, I believe, 59, because I didn't say it, this is RAWtalk episode number 58. Coming up next week with 59, we're going to talk about Photo Plus. We're going to be back around the poker table, Steven and I, before we cut in the special footage, an exclusive footage from the photo show in New York City that Steven filmed and we went around with. I did have pink handcuffs. You're going to have to see why I had those, but, we did what we did. We had fun. I went to the Peter Hurley F-Stoppers party Saturday night, met a bunch of great people there. We'll talk all about that when it comes up to that portion of next week's RAWtalk. So this week's RAWtalk is pretty good, guys. I hope you're going to enjoy it, but I want to remind you, I have to throw in there that Alan's Camera has supported me since day one. If you are looking for Nikon camera gear, check out Nikon Alan's Camera. It's alanscamera.com. They don't just have Nikon, but they have everything there for you, whether you're Canon, whatnot. Just ask for that. But really, anything Nikon related, the new D6100, that would be the Nikon D610. You have the Nikon D5300. They're going to carry the Nikon 58 1.4, the new AW1 underwater camera with interchangeable lenses. They're going to have that as well as well as new and used equipment at alanscamera.com. You can call them at 215-547-2841. Ask for Alan, ask for Brandon, ask for Rob, ask for Marlena. They will help you out, figure out what you're looking for, and get you what you need. And don't forget to ask for the Fro prize. Oh yeah, don't forget to vote for the photo of the month. We've got 10 photos up there going on right now. Let's see who you will cast your vote for. And that is really what we have, guys. And that is it. So here we go. Let's get into this interview that Ron Henry conducted with me in BlackRapid Studios in Seattle, Washington.
BlackRapid Radio.
Okay, here we are at BlackRapid Studio, and today's guest, we have the pleasure of having FroKnowsPhoto in the house. We got Jared Polin here. First time in Seattle?
No, I've been in Seattle, I believe, one time before on tour. We stayed here for like a night.
Oh, did you? Well, was that a while ago?
It was 2007.
Okay.
See, I remember things because I don't drink on tour or do drugs, so...
Ever, do you?
I don't. I mean, I drink very little. I'm not a big drinker.
Yeah.
But I don't smoke, and I don't do any of that stuff that people think comes with having big hair.
Oh, you're not a pothead?
I'm not.
Okay. Well,
I couldn't do it. Actually, it's not bad. I've done it a couple times, and when you're hotboxed, I know we went right to an interesting subject with you. But when you're on a tour bus and you're in the back of the bus and somebody else is doing it, you kind of
get high,
basically. And it's great. I mean, it's great. It's just not my thing.
Yeah. And speaking of the tour buses and stuff, we were just looking at your website of some of your images of bands. And how do you get backstage like that? How do you get some of those cool gigs like that?
You asked.
And awesome photos, by the way. I really
Thanks.
Like the way you captured the whole essence of their... could you get me to the page on that? Yeah, I was really fascinated by your shots. I love them. Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yes.
The access comes from asking. My whole thing has always been trying to do something that other people are, hey, it's my new website. It's trying to do things that other people don't do, which is ask for access to things that they've never captured before, the places that they don't get to see, like the tour bus, like the dressing room. I mean, there's all the stuff we're looking at of Perry Farrell, him putting his makeup on before shows and doing his own. I mean, this from Norva, ironing his own stuff. I mean, he gave me access to do whatever I want. And coming up here, I walk in on he and his wife making out on the floor.
I saw that. I thought it was the bed, but
no, they're on the floor of the dressing room.
That was an awesome shot. And
this was using a Nikon D2X back in the day, so the low light capability was like 1250 ISO was as far as you could really push it. But yeah, fisheye. I walked in on them because he let me do whatever I wanted.
Yeah.
And I walked in, I was like, "Oops, sorry." And they're like, "No, stay." I'm like, "I need a fisheye," so I went and got it because this was it was a tight room. She was on top, and he's looking at me. That was cool.
You couldn't have set that up any better, and it wasn't set up. It was just what it was when you came in.
And that's how I do it. I don't like directing things. Yeah. I mean, occasionally when you're doing a photo shoot, you can sit there and say, "Hey, do this and hold that. That's great. Let's try to do that again." But most of it's organic. Just Perry walking back to the bus. I mean, that's Colorado. Waking up in Aspen.
That's Aspen. I love Aspen.
Yeah, we rolled up overnight. I don't know where we were coming from, but that's usually how you do it on tour. You leave one venue at 2 a.m. when that's bus call, and then you end up in the next place, and it's 7 a.m. and you walk off a bus. And I wasn't in Aspen before, but it was October in Aspen. You could see it was beautiful.
Yeah.
And I walked out. I was like, "Oh, this is what real air smells like." And only locals were around because it wasn't tourist season, and it was just unbelievable to walk out of that while you're in the mountains.
Yeah. How did you? I mean, they gave you a little space there to sleep and get your. I mean, are you still doing your work on this bus other than the photo shoot? Are you doing Jared Polin FroKnowsPhoto stuff on?
Well, this was 2007. So I was on the road for 6 weeks.
Oh, tell me, when did you start?
It was pre-FroKnowsPhoto. June 1st of 2010 was the day that I launched FroKnowsPhoto.
Okay.
So it's been a little over 3 years.
When you were doing these band shots and stuff like that, is that when you started stirring around with like, I need to start this FroKnowsPhoto thing? How did that come about?
It came about, I was, there's a couple of different stories that all segue together, but I went to photograph a fitness event in Florida. I know it's a weird thing, but somebody needed a photographer for a fitness event. And then I was introduced to all these people that are in the internet marketing space, quote unquote. If you know anything about that type of thing, it's people that sell fitness downloads and videos and nutrition stuff to the people that think that if they buy this, they're going to follow it and help them lose weight. But I was introduced to people, and I'm like, this guy has 90,000 email people on his email list, and they're doing this, and they have their own business. And that got my mind starting to flow about what can be done in the online world. I've tried things with jaredpolin.com where I was trying to make a video, or I was writing some articles, but I never really had a clear-cut direction. And then when I saw these guys in the internet marketing space, I was fascinated by it, but I would never pay to go to a seminar. That is not my thing. I would not spend $3,000. Are you allowed to talk, Brad?
Brad, shut up.
I don't know, because anytime there's a mic, I like just throwing a mic. But anyway,
it's okay. Yeah, you can come in anytime.
Yeah,
I was just curious because
you'd like to know.
Nothing. You had a mic in front of you, so I was just wondering if you ever used it.
I just wait till I'm asked a question.
Okay.
He sits there and just looks pretty.
But I wanted to go to some of these events. Somebody's like, you need to work with this person. So I called that person on the phone and said, hey, I'd like to photograph your event. I looked at your photos. I can do a better job. And I mean, I do that
ballsy.
Nicely. Yeah, but it's true.
Well, I mean,
think
it's ballsy
true.
still.
It is.
Even
if
it is true.
He's like, I took those. I was like, yeah, well, I can do a better job. He's like, okay. I said,
sucks.
I want to go to your event to photograph it for you and just pay for my travel and the hotel. Yeah. So they do that because I get to learn and they get access. And this was still before FroKnowsPhoto even jumped into my mind. So I did that for one of the internet marketing guys, and then they told me, you go work for this guy, and I ended up getting there, and that was one of the biggest guys in the industry. So I learned a lot of things not to do, because I'm not a big proponent of just sell. I like selling. I'm a salesperson. I love selling, branding, marketing, and things like that. I've sold cameras. I come from a selling family. Everybody's schmata business. You know, it's kind of similar. You know, grandfather worked in the schmata business in Philly. My uncle, then my dad. So I from very early on, I was watching my dad sell, how to treat clients and customers, where he would tell them, don't buy this. This isn't going to be good. Just honesty. So I learned all that stuff. But at these internet marketing events, you learn things not to do, because a lot of these people haven't built brands, and it's all about selling. And just I did the opposite. Free was what I went with. I wanted to do free because if you do free, you give everything away, people are going to thank you by buying something in the long run. I mean, really, it's the thank you economy, as Gary Vaynerchuk would say. I know it's a long.
I agree with
story.
that. I think you go a long ways by giving.
Yeah,
and
the funny thing is, those people that I met 3.5, 4 years ago that were in that industry have started to adopt things that I've done, to realize that, oh, if I make free content, then I can sell more, because now you're getting more eyes. It's all an aggregate thing. The more numbers you get, the more you're going to move.
So did you have this the Fro going on at that time, or is this part of what this FroKnowsPhoto site is about?
Yeah, so in 2007, when I was on tour with Perry Farrell, I had a shaved head. And that was the last time I cut my hair.
Really?
Yeah. That
you haven't cut your hair since that time?
It's been 5.5. Well, October becomes 6 years, because I was on tour with them in October. Yeah, so the Fro thing, I was sitting around throwing around names, and I would talk to some people, and I knew I had to come up with something interesting, and then I just came up with FroKnowsPhoto. It was just there. It just made sense to me. Huh. And I didn't ask anybody's advice for once. I ask people advice, but I rarely take it. A lot of times.
We're looking at you right now with a different hairdo on mine.
That's somebody else's hair cut into mine.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, that's somebody else.
I was going to say that couldn't have been you. Because you got I Shoot Raw, and that was a long time.
I don't have emo hair, but if you go to my personal Facebook page, you can find the photo of me with a shaved head from 2005.
And how do we find that page? Is that
well, that's FroKnowsPhoto. That's Jared. That's Jared Polin on Facebook. But don't try to friend me, because there's no more space.
Yes.
Just go to Facebook.com/FroKnowsPhoto. Oh, there's one. I'll explain this one. That is on tour with Perry Farrell. You see that facial hair?
Yes.
So what you do on tour is weird stuff, because you're with the 9 people. It's a family. So one day I just felt like shaving the opposite, a reverse goatee.
Sure.
So you just shave right down the middle of your face, and you leave these long ass mutton chops, and that's exactly what I did.
Well, you had a good look there. I think it fit. Yeah. And what are you doing there? You had the headphones on
an airplane.
Music? Oh, okay.
I am on an airplane.
Well, okay. So, where was this aha moment that you really kind of put everything together? You said the Jared Polin or the FroKnowsPhoto kind of came together. before you had an afro, and so you had to.
No, the afro. I didn't get the name until I had the hair. I just started
the hair must. Since you've been growing the hair for so long.
Well, I grew the hair. There's multiple reasons, but I've never let my hair grow ever past 3 months because being Jewish, it's curly hair. You don't know what to do with it. It's awkward. But I wanted to push through it. So I pushed through it, and then it started to look good. Like 8 months to a year, it was the perfect shape, like a basketball. Now it's just all over the place, but then it was good. And then my mom got sick, and I always joke that if she ever lost her hair, we'd shave my head and turn it into a wig or something. And then she passed away, and I just kept growing it. I did the opposite. People shave their heads, and I just stuck with it.
And are you? I mean, it works for the brand, for sure. And it's you stand out. I think we know a comedian like that, Brad, that grew his hair because he stood out as a comic, and it really does. I mean, you just kind of blend in with the crowd if you didn't have the fro.
Yeah.
So it looks good on you. You fit it,
Thank you.
And you're not receding.
Not yet. I mean, it runs in the family.
You don't have any holes in the back. You just kind of comb it over.
I may. I don't know. People keep telling me they see gray hair in here.
Huh.
But I guess that's bound to happen.
Well, tell me about the Fro site now, where you're at now, because you have gone a long ways in a short amount of time, and you got so much going on in this site. I mean, it looks like a Japanese site to me right now.
Oh yeah, is that a good thing or a bad thing?
It is a good thing. It keeps you busy. Your eyes keep focused on so much.
Well, this is just the front page. It's a pretty sticky page. People keep coming back. They stay on there for a while. Yeah. The average site time, is like 4 minutes since day one. So people spend time. Yeah, and that's average. So they spend a lot of time watching. There's a lot of content. There's 1,300 and change in terms of videos up on YouTube, and then there's probably 1,400 posts to go along with that on the website.
Do you do all this yourself? This website?
Well, I don't build the website. I had somebody build the WordPress theme and
well, I'm sorry,
adapt it.
But you keep it updated yourself, though.
I keep it updated. Yeah, I write all the articles, and that's a very touchy subject with a lot of people. A lot of people outsource this stuff, have other people write, and I can't have somebody write in my voice, and that's why I make videos. Going back to how I started it, without ripping on certain people, I was tooling around YouTube, seeing videos getting 50,000 views, 60,000 views, and going, this person just reviewed a 70 to 200 Nikon and compared it to an 18 to 200 Nikon and said that the 18 to 200 was better. And it's just like, there's no way in hell that's better. And this guy's explanations were garbage, in my opinion. But instead of doing the YouTube thing and telling them that they suck in comments, I said, screw this. I'm gonna do it myself, because why not? We have that opportunity. So anybody listening, just because you have the ability to comment and rip on people, don't take it. Take the other way and do something about it. If you don't like what somebody's doing, do it yourself and do it better. Anybody can do it.
And I think I remember what's the camera store that's close to you?
Alan's Camera.
Alan's Camera. I think this is how we stumbled across you. Was we saw one of your videos, and I don't know how that worked out. I think it was Lorray. We had said, he made a little thing about us and
how much I didn't like it.
Yes, and and it was like, I don't think he gets it, because once he gets it, I think he's going to like it. So we sent you out a strap, and you were kind enough to open it up on. You actually filmed yourself opening it up from us.
Yeah, and
it was really nice of you to actually.
It didn't hurt that you had a blonde girl give me a call on Skype.
Yeah, that helped.
That didn't hurt at the time.
Yeah.
So, but no, I
we knew where your head was. So
yeah,
we worked.
I panned it at first, and then I used it, and it made sense. And that's how it works. You pan things, and then you try them, and it's like, oh, okay.
And that's where the relationship started with you and us.
Yeah, and it goes all the way. That's basically the beginning of that was a couple months into starting. I didn't even have I Shoot Raw shirts yet.
I couldn't even tell you how we stumbled across you either. I wasn't sure how that worked out. But do you remember, Brad? Anything like that?
I think Lorray just found it. It was just random.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
That's probably a testament to the content I was putting out.
Yeah, I remember when she came to me, because I was working with her at the time, doing social media and all that stuff, and she came to me. There's this guy. He's got this hair. You got to see it. Oh my God, he's incredible. This and that, and
that's the branding marketing thing. It's a noisy world. How do you stand out? And people ask all the time, like, I started the site thinking it would do one thing for me, a certain thing. and then it evolved, and that one thing wasn't going to be it, but you have to figure out where the direction is going sometimes and go with the flow. You can steer the ship any way you want it, but it was taking its own direction. It went global pretty darn quick.
And that's good of you to understand that, to where you let something grow like that rather than just have your own agenda and this is the way I need it to go. You listened to what the brand was going, and you kind of catered toward that direction, and that's a good business guy.
Well, I can be honest with where I thought that I would make this type of content and people would then call me to hire me to do shoots, and that just doesn't happen. That's not how it works. And my readership became the beginners, the people that were seeking my information, the people that want to know what camera should I buy, and can you critique my work, and can you do something reviews, and I would just do funny stuff. It became doing something funny like the sniff tests, and that's what drew people to it. So we call it infotainment. It's funny and it's entertaining.
Yeah,
and that's where the direction went.
I was pretty captivated, I must say, with your grandmother. She's such a sweetheart, and you had a lot of great videos that were uncut and letting her be herself, and she's quite a character, and she's just amazing, and that was like 3 or 4 years ago. You can have this if you want.
I have one.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm good.
I didn't see
I put it on the floor.
Okay, man.
Anyway, Lil's, I can tell you how that started.
Yeah.
I was making a review of a Nikon lens, and I sat down on the sofa next to her, and she looked at me and smiled. And that was a smile that I hadn't seen, and it was funny. And so that just made me think, well, there's other reasons why I did it, I can tell you that, but it was just interesting what she did, and she liked it. One of the reasons I started filming Lil is because I never got the chance to film my mom and ask the questions that I never got to ask that I'll never know answers to. So that's the stuff that hurts. You don't get to get those answers, and they're lost. So I sat with Lil. We made 90 some videos in 2 years or so. Was
it that many? Wow.
It was about that. And then
she felt like a little star too, though.
Oh yeah. Well, she had no idea. She couldn't. The internet. She didn't have airplanes when she was born, 1910. They were just about then at that point, but they didn't. What she's seen in her life is pretty insane.
Yeah.
But she's in we got her into a home because it was very difficult for my dad once my mom passed away, and I started to move out. We took care of her for over 4 years after my mom passed away, and she flourished with us. And then we had to get her into a place because it wasn't a matter of if she fell, but when she fell, and we didn't want to have to deal with something like that. We got it. We had her the chair lift for her. We had everything to make it easy for her, but it became more difficult on my dad because he has to live too. But we got her into a place, and for a while they put you on all that medication, and she kind of seemed like she was going downhill. And then as of about 2 months ago, they took her off of everything because she doesn't need to be on it.
No, she doesn't.
And she woke up.
Really?
And now she's
herself.
She's back to being the Lil that she was, and she's 102. Yeah, that's why I filmed this last video I filmed was on my iPhone, because she was talking again.
Yeah.
And she was interacting, and she wasn't just laying there. And
yeah. And you weren't prepared to bring a camera in, but when she started doing it, you had your iPhone with you.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with having the iPhone either.
Yeah, you could see that she's still like really alert right there, just listening in.
Yeah.
God dang.
That was good.
What's if you don't mind, let's go back to you have a close family when you were a young kid. Are you the only child?
I have a brother, older brother.
Does he do photography?
He doesn't. He just calls and makes fun of my friends and I when we're out shooting. He's like, "Oh, using that 600 f/22." He just throws out terms.
Throws the numbers out.
Yeah. He can take pictures though.
Yeah,
he can.
And where did you come out with being a photographer? Is that something you've always been interested in?
It's the same way I started making videos, was the same reason why I started shooting pictures. I was 13 in junior high school watching a basketball game, and there were these yearbook girls taking pictures of practice. And to me, I was like, well, why are they doing this? There's no action going on. They shouldn't be shooting this. So instead of going and telling them that they shouldn't be doing it this way, I borrowed my mom's Fuji Discovery 1000 point-and-shoot camera, sat down on the baseline, and just started shooting. And it just took. The anticipation was there. I understood sports. I understood action. And though I was using a point-and-shoot, it came down to the images, because composition is one of the hardest things to teach people. Some people either have the eye or they don't, and some people will get better over time, but if you have the eye, anybody you can learn exposure. That's the last thing.
Right.
I'd rather see somebody get the worst exposure in the world, but have the greatest composition ever, because I can't teach you that, but I can certainly tell you how to get the right exposure.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So with that, you've taken on the photography from back then, and so when did you get really serious about it? Did you do photography for a living? I mean, you were on tour buses and stuff like that, but
sort of a living, if you want to call it.
You never
that.
shot weddings, did you?
I did.
Did you?
Weddings were one of the ways that I funded allowing myself to spend spend the time to build the website, because I did higher end weddings, $3,500, $4,000, $5,000, higher end, because you can do less of them. But I shot weddings for 2 years, and that started to give me enough money built up to put 14 hours a day into building the website, making content, wake up, make content, edit content, upload it, and repeat twice a day. I was putting up 2 videos a day. I was shooting, editing, and putting it up, and that wasn't sustainable. And you have to learn over time how to grow and how to balance your time. I've put up, on average, it's over a video a day for over 3 years.
Wow.
At this point, that's what it averages out to, and I've slowed down a little bit, and I've tried to slow down. We've tried to stop. I don't know how to say it. Just make less content, but I don't know. The content's there for me to make it, so I'm not just going to hold it.
Yeah.
And that is how it grew so quick. By the way, it's not the people that put out one piece of content a week. If you put out one piece of content a week, somebody doesn't have anything to look forward to.
Yeah.
They want to see what they wanted to see what I was going to do next. If I put up 5, 6, 7 videos in a week, it just created awareness. And I knew that YouTube is owned by Google. That's the search giant. So if I can win in that game, then you can't search YouTube right now for photography and not have one of my videos come up as a recommendation. There are so many up there that they're there, so somebody's going to stumble on it. And the reason I made videos instead of writing so much is I can articulate better when it comes to just being in front of the camera.
Even, So when you talk about slowing down, are you building a team around you that's kind of taking some of the workload off of you as well, or are you just still a one-man show? Or I mean, I met you, I guess it was in Austin. You had a video guy with you, a friend maybe.
Yeah, I've gone the other way a little bit. You try to, well, I've picked up one, gotten rid of another type of thing. It's just finding the right fit, finding the right people to take away the certain work that allow you to free up to do certain things. The guy, Steven, that I've been working with for a while, I would love to offer him full time when he's ready to take it, because he's done so much in terms of helping me with content, whether it's shooting video, editing video, being audio, knowing what he's doing. I mean, there's nothing that helps me out more than coming to me with ideas to bounce off of my head, bounce off the fro, literally. You come to me with 10 ideas. If I like 5 of them, awesome. If I like 2 of them, awesome. But just somebody that's hungry, that's coming back for more.
And it's nice to bounce ideas off each other, because it grows that way.
Well, the collaborative process is where it's at. If you just lock yourself in a room and try to come up with every single idea, which I am guilty of a lot, just being alone in my loft working, I will work
nonstop. Let me see that loft picture again. I'll show you that. This is brand new to you, this loft, this unit space that you have?
Yeah, well, actually, the picture from here is my old loft.
Oh, that one's your old loft right there?
Yeah, that was the last picture. Yeah, I had there was like a 12-foot wall, and the ceilings went 18 feet, so I attached the Nikon D4 to there, and I ran a time-lapse video of me setting this up. Oh, so it's there. The time-lapse is on this page under, I don't know, it's somewhere. Okay. But the new loft is very nice. If you go back to the main website, you can see...
I see, there's a time-lapse. Now...
there's music with it as well.
Where's this? Where do you live?
I live in Philadelphia.
Okay, so is this loft and stuff? Is this downtown Philadelphia, or is there?
So it's not Center City. It's a place called Fishtown.
Okay,
it's hipster central.
Nice.
I'm not a hipster, but there's a lot of hipsters walking around. It's just a place.
I said you look like a hipster.
Do I?
You look like you fit in.
What makes me look like a hipster, though?
You got your fro going on.
That's not hip. Is a fro hipstery?
Sure.
I mean, I think Brad may be the go-to on this.
Yeah.
You would have to be way more apathetic about life.
And I have regular glasses. I don't have black thick glasses.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You would need thick rimmed glasses and a lot of apathy, I think, to really make it work.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, I got to cut myself or something.
Yeah, and just complain about everything.
Just be like, whatever.
Whatever, man. You don't know, you'll never know.
Yeah. Well, where do you see yourself going here? I mean, you kind of felt the direction that the site was telling you, and the fans were taking you, and so where do you see yourself going in the next few years? I see you got some products. I see the BlackRapid strap for yourself.
I do. I have the
Fro strap,
the custom BlackRapid, the FroKnowsPhoto edition BlackRapid strap that's out of stock currently.
Oh gosh, dang those guys for no stock.
Hopefully it's coming back. Scroll down, it will be there.
I like the Star Wars.
That's not that's the Space Edition T-shirt.
Space Edition.
Yeah. Get that right, please.
Yeah.
It's Space Edition.
How are they? I mean, these are fun.
Merch is great.
Yeah.
Merch is. I knew from, I think 2 weeks after I launched the site, I had my first shirt. And I knew from touring with bands forever that they make money from shirts. And the money, and I wasn't asking a lot. It was $11.99 for shirts. And so I didn't make a lot off of them.
Yeah, you're just getting it on people so they can afford to get it.
Right.
Without having to,
part of it's brand awareness. Part of it is selling a band type shirt. And I did need money to sustain what I was doing. You can't start a business. And we learned this in the early 2000s when everybody was the next big thing on the internet, except everybody forgot to monetize. And then when they tried to monetize, they failed. And we see that now that everybody has to monetize something. And there's things may be free, but look at Facebook, right? It's free, but they're monetizing the hell out of it.
Yeah.
So the shirts are good.
Did you come up with this catchphrase? I shoot raw.
Yeah.
And did you trademark that? Is that where we edit?
Well, the TM's on the shirt.
Okay.
I had trouble with it on the way that it looks now. The trademark lawyers like to tell you that you can't trademark letters and this type of thing. If it was a logo design, then it would be something different. I had trouble with the apparel thing. And in fact, G-Star Raw, that company that makes high-end denim clothes, opposed my filing under apparel, which was bullshit. Flat out bullshit.
Did it look similar or something?
Confusion? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
No, and I don't want to tell you what I would do if they ever really came after me, but you know, the strap, we have the TM on for stuff like that, and things like that.
Well, it's a great catchphrase. I mean, it's just simple, and it tells it like it is. And you have that on the BlackRapid strap as well. You know,
we do.
I shoot raw, and you picked a color that's very bold. Which was we were a little worried for you on that, and we did have a discussion about that, and then you were consistently I guess persistent about I want red, and I was like, give them red, man.
Well, it was going to be that or no strap.
Yeah. Well, I think, you know, I don't understand why they weren't, you know, maybe wanting to give you the red, I because it's your, you know, strap to try out and sell, but it's proven itself to sell, and there's nothing wrong with popping a strap. I mean, you definitely see it coming.
Well, and you get the some bite back from some people that are like, it's red, we don't want to stand out. And I sit here in today's day and age, I want to freaking stand out on a shoot. You are your brand. You want people to know you're there, and just wearing a red strap isn't going to distract somebody for the fact that you have a body, you know, you're big. And I ran into this when I was shooting those events, that I would find myself slinking down the aisle, you know, like slowly walking down lower, like I was not going to be seen with a big afro on my head. So I just started to walk, you know, because they're going to see you either way. Just own it and walk.
Right.
So if
you look like you're sneaking around, then people are apt to look at you.
Yeah, they're going to see you. But
if you just walk normal.
Yeah, and with the red strap, it was. I would have loved purple, but I know that
maybe that's next
wouldn't
time.
do too well because it's purple. But red, I said all I want is vibrant. Just give me something vibrant.
Red sort of? You're wearing a red shirt today. It says "I shoot raw." Is that kind of the color of your brand? Would you say, if you had a color?
No. I don't really have a color. I mean, the original shirt is the original one. The I shoot raw, just the black with the white. So the original black and white was pretty much it. I like wearing the red because it's vibrant. I like wearing the orange or the yellow for the Nikon part of it.
Yeah.
But I just wanted something that I thought people would want.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
You know,
And so,
settled in on that.
And you can find this on FroKnowsPhoto.com website, his store.
Yep.
And so you're here in town to do something at Creative Live?
I am at Creative Live doing its Creative Photo Week, and they asked me to teach the exposure triangle of all things, which I can hammer home, but we only have 90 minutes to do it.
Is that what it is, 90 minutes?
Yeah, normal Creative Live is 3 days or so of creating content, which I could beat the crap out of that if we really needed to. But yeah, I've got 90 minutes. I'm going to do the basics of the basics of the basics, and that's where I think photography starts. If you get the fundamentals, you can do whatever you want.
Is that happening today?
That is tomorrow.
Tomorrow, okay. And so the date tomorrow is, let's see, we got
19, 18?
Yeah, the 18th, tomorrow, the 18th of September. So we're probably listening to it past the time that it, but you can still see it on Creative Live.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
Don't buy it, by the way, on Creative Live. Seriously, don't spend the money on my talk.
That's what
I
it is.
can't say that now. I mean,
that's what it is. They have to buy it after they don't see it live. Is that how that works over there?
Well, so what they're doing is they have 50 or so instructors
We're
coming in.
good friends with those guys, by the way.
They have 50 or so instructors coming in, and they're selling the whole batch, which is $2.99, which makes sense. Then they're selling individuals if you want it for $49 for 90 minutes. So obviously they're trying to push people to buy the $2.99, which I think is a good idea for people if they want to pick up the 3 full days and all 50, because you can't watch them all, because you can only watch one of the channels. There's 3 channels. So obviously they're pushing people to $2.99. I would prefer that. But if you want to buy something for me, buy my beginner guide. That will give you all the information and then some compared to what I'll be doing tomorrow or now in the past on Creative Live.
Yes. And
I'm honest.
Yeah, well,
they ask me my opinion, and I have trouble not saying it. I really can't. I am not a lying type.
Well, you don't have to be a lying type, but
I'll give my opinion.
You'll give an opinion, and so you're going to be talking about something that is not as creative. I think maybe like you're kind of expressive kind of guy.
Yeah,
and so you're going to be kind of tame over there.
No, I won't be tame over there. I mean,
so you won't disappoint.
No, I won't disappoint. But the thing was, I was like, I could do marketing and branding. I mean, obviously, I've built a big ass brand behind it.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, we've never done exposure triangle, because they're very corporate.
Yeah.
They're a corporate thing now. And so
I'm not even sure how that happened.
They built an amazing product.
Well, yeah.
And somebody came knocking on the door. We want to take this even further.
Oh.
I guess.
I don't know. I don't know the story behind that.
I do. You want to know the story behind it? I mean, Chase Jarvis and I guess partners came up with the idea. It's a fantastic model. It's like what lynda.com did, and they got huge. What, they get like $500 million, I think, lynda.com, when they went public.
Jesus.
Recently.
Are they going public?
Who?
Are they trying to go public?
Creative Live?
Yeah.
They got a round of funding. They got $8 million last year for funding. They're building something in San Francisco, a new studio space, but they're going to branch out of photography. They're going to get into marketing. They're already started doing that. Marketing classes and video editing. It's really just an educational place. I mean, it makes sense. It's a great place for people to go and learn from instructors.
Yeah.
There's a business model there for other people too. I mean, what they're doing is bringing in the instructors and paying instructors a fee or a percentage to come in. And then there's photographers on the other side that, like me, that have figured out that I can do it on my own as well.
Sure.
And you will benefit greatly from doing it on your own, more so than being on somebody else's watch. But not everybody has built that infrastructure. I don't know if I'm talking too much,
and also,
or just being too
honest.
No.
But it's your opinion, and it's true. I mean, you've got your own platform.
But I'm not downplaying anything by any stretch of the imagination.
There's a lot of followers over there at that show, and
that's one of the reasons
they're doing
I'm here.
they're doing a good job. And,
absolutely.
And who knows after this, how many more followers you're going to have to your site?
We'll see.
So
it is a trade-off, and they knew that, and I knew that going into it. It's like I'm doing this because I get eyes and you get my readers to come over and watch, which they probably already knew about it before me anyway, because Creative Live has been pretty big for the last couple of years.
Yeah, they're doing a good job of growing it, that's for sure. And so pretty exciting that they're here in Seattle, and they started here and they're moving forward into other cities. But it's a pleasure having you come down, and and how long are you gonna be in town?
2.5 days.
Okay, so
Thursday.
Okay.
Today's Tuesday.
Are you gonna
go home Thursday.
Are you tooling around town a little bit and doing photos, or are you just kind of?
I drove past the Space Needle thing. I've never seen the Space Needle.
You haven't?
No, just on the Seattle Supersonics jersey. What is your Seattle team called these days? Basketball.
Basketball's done.
There is no basketball
I thought
team.
they brought a team back.
No, they were talking about it, but that didn't happen.
Yeah, they were going to buy the Kings. Is that right?
Oh, L.A.
Yeah, I think they were going to buy the Kings, and it didn't work out.
Oh, was it the Kings? I thought it was the Sonics from them back. Get them back.
No.
Oh.
Well, we
I don't follow it enough. Well, you know what we were proud of is our football team this year.
Well, and then you broke some record yesterday for loudest.
Being loud. Yeah, Dan came in with a hangover. He's a big fan of that team, man.
Is that why he's so slow today?
Yesterday he was slow. He was really bad yesterday. So, well, anyway, have fun at that show. Have fun in Seattle. It's a pleasure having you come out to BlackRapid Studios just to give us a shout out, to visit us. This is the first time you've been here to visit us, and we hope, to keep a relationship with you and some more straps going your direction and more colors if you want them. But red seems to be pretty cool.
Yeah, and let's get those in stock because people want them.
Yeah. All right, well, it's a pleasure. So thanks for coming in today, and see ya.
All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed that different type of podcast where I was being interviewed. We always want to try to bring you some new content, and that's what we have here. We didn't want to leave you hanging for this week, and that's why there's nothing to see here, because there is no video, as we said before, but hopefully you get it and you enjoy it, and we will be back next week with our wrap-up from Photo Plus up in New York City, where we did a ton of stuff. So don't forget about the FroKnowsPhoto Flash Guide, which you can get at FroKnowsPhoto.com/Flash Guide, as well as the BlackRapid Red Strap, which is currently in stock at store.FroKnowsPhoto.com. They are in stock, ready to go out. As soon as you order them, we will ship them, where they're going all around the world. There's special pricing on shipping. And there you guys have it. That's RAWtalk episode number 58. We'll see you all next week. Jared, Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com. See ya.